What's up, everybody? Mikey here again with another video coming to you from the Ravecade arcade basement. I'm calling it the Ravecade now. But yeah, so basically this video is part of a series about how to get a PC running onto a CRT-based arcade cabinet. If you haven't seen it already, I have a video where it's all of the hardware. So it's going to talk about what you need, the parts you need, what kind of output you need, and that kind of stuff. Highly recommend watching that first before watching the rest of this video, just to get an understanding of what you need and how it works. But yeah, this is all going to be software based. So we're going to talk about how to get a program called Batocera running and get it running on this new Astro City cabinet right behind me. So all the hookups are there. And but yeah, we've got a lot of things to talk about. So without further ado, let's start off with the parts list. All right, so before we begin talking about parts, let's talk about the software first. So we're going to be using Batocera. It's basically a program that runs a bunch of emulation. You have a bunch of cores in it. And the particular thing about Batocera is that you're able to run a 15 kilohertz signal out of it, which is really cool. So you're able to play it on a CRT, basically. So the Batocera version that we are going to be running is a version that has actually been written on top of. So it is called Myzar Batocera. There's a team that has made it so that you're able to run a bunch of different scripts in order to get settings set up for you. So you don't have to like manually go into files and redo code, go into the terminal, run a bunch of commands. This one is just super simple. It's kind of similar to Update All if you're a Mr. owner. Same thing, it's just a bunch of scripts. You can just execute them and then, it does all of the stuff in the background for you. So Myzar Batocera. So that said, Myzar Batocera highly recommends using 2 different hard drives. So for this build that we're gonna do, I've got an M.2, which I'm gonna be running Batocera on. And then I've got a regular SSD. This is a 480 gigabyte. You could get, I would recommend getting a 2 gig if you want to get all the stuff. But yeah, it's the reason why we have 2 is because one needs to run Batocera and the other one is to store ROMs. And it's recommended this way because we are on Batocera version 39 right now. Once 40 comes out, or any other version after, it makes it easier so that you could keep all of your ROMs intact without having to reflash this with the newer version of Batocera, and then just always update Batocera to the latest version. And then they have a script where you could just pull the ROMs into the newest version that's going to come out. So we're going 2 hard drives here. Obviously, you're going to need to be able to format them. So I've got a card reader. I've got an M.2 card reader as well too. So you're going to need both those. So next thing is you're going to need a keyboard, external keyboard. You're going to need to use that with your PC because we're going to need to go into the BIOS, set up some things so that we can make it so that we boot from this drive the moment your PC turns on. So we need that. And then we also need, well, yeah, I have everything hooked up already. So if you haven't already seen that other video, this is all hooked up hardware-wise into the new Astro City. I have a JAMMA to PC converter down here. I've got a CPS kick harness as well, so that we could do all 6 buttons. That's part of this JAMMA to PC. Antonio, you'll see it from the other video, but highly recommend watching that first. Also, please know your CRT. Please know your arcade hardware. Things can go very wrong if you don't do this right. So play with your own caution, basically. Build with your own caution. But yeah, I'm gonna make it so that you will not blow up your CRT because you only want to make sure that it sends a certain signal. And actually, here's an example because we're actually gonna show this. So if you look down here, we've got this, and we're gonna keep an eye on this for signals. So, but yeah, again. 2 hard drives, your PC, obviously, all of the hardware from that other video, and that's about it. So I think we're ready to go into the software and just start installing stuff. All right, so first things first, we've got our keyboard hooked up to our PC. Also, I forgot to mention that you're going to need Wi-Fi access as well too in order to run those Myzar scripts in Batocera. So I am plugged in directly with Ethernet, but also we'll talk later about how to get Wi-Fi hooked up in Batocera as well too, if you want to go that route. I've got both my drives hooked into my MacBook. I'm going to be doing this through a MacBook. Same thing applies if you're running Windows or Linux. You need a program that needs to reformat your hard drives. And then we also need a program in order to flash Batocera onto one of these drives. So that said, I think we can move over to the software side of things here. So first thing, again, I've got my hard drives plugged in. So I've got an M.2 and then I've got an SSD. With Mac, you're gonna need to run a program called Disk Utility to reformat. So let's open that right now here. And then you'll see this window. We've got both our drives here. The SSD I've already formatted, but I still need to format the M.2, so I'll show you how to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick this here. You're going to go to Erase. You don't have to rename it anything special. And what we're going to do is we need to format this to exFAT. And the reason why is because Batocera is a Linux-based program, so we're going to need it so that it's able to recognize these drives. So we're going to format this to exFAT. We're going to erase. This should be super, super quick. Cool, so now we're done. So now we've got both of our drives set up for exFAT. They're both reformatted, so we don't need this program anymore. So now the next thing that we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to download Batocera Myzar. So I have the link in the description. So what that's gonna do is that's going to open up this, this link is gonna open up to here. So you're gonna have to download it. I already have it downloaded. It's on my desktop right now. But yeah, download this. You're also going to need to unzip it. So you'll see that in a sec. And then the other thing you're going to need is a program that will flash Batocera onto the hard drive. So what I use is Balena Etcher. So download Balena Etcher. Again, I'm going to leave this link in the description. Download it, get the program, and then we're going to open it up and then format a disk with Batocera. So, or flash a disk. So again, I've got Batocera downloaded here. I've already unzipped it. I use a program called, let me see, what is it called? It's called Unzip One in order to open it. I'm not sure if you could do it just straight up by double clicking it, but if you do need a program, I use Unzip One. I think it's free. It's totally free. So again, let's open up Balena Etcher now. Got this going. So let's open it. And the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to find that file. So you're going to go flash from file. So we'll click here. And then we're going to get that Batocera image. So this is the one that's already unzipped. The other one, you won't be able to click on it. So obviously you need to unzip it. So we open that and then select target. So the target is going to be the hard drive. I know that it's the PCIe. I want to put this on my N.2. So I'm going to pick this here. I'm going to do select one, and then I'm going to go flash. Now what it's going to do is it's always going to give you this warning. It's going to say it's too large, whatever. Just say, yeah, I'm sure. Let's do it. And then usually it's going to prompt you and ask for a password. So I'm going to type in my password here and click OK. And then we should just start flashing. Finishing up. Boom. Look at that. Batocera. Boom. All right. And it already ejects it for you. So we're out. We're out. So let's get out of here. And then, you know what? This is it. This is all we need for the software part. So let me eject this SSD here as well. And yeah, let's move back to here. And I think the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to start, I'm going to install these drives into the PC. We're going to close it up. And then we'll move on to the next step, which is just start setting up Batocera. So stay tuned. All right, y'all. So now I've got everything installed in the PC. It's all closed up. We've got both drives installed. Again, we've got the keyboard. We've got Ethernet. All of the cables that are already hooked up is from that first video that I'm totally advise you to watch. So yeah, same thing. One thing I want to emphasize right now is we are not using our CRT right away. You cannot do that yet. And the reason why is because right off the bat, your PC is not set up to send a 15 kilohertz signal. And we need to do a couple settings before we could actually load Batocera. So I have a splitter right now. One split is going to here, and then the other one is going into a capture card. So you could go that route, hook up, do HDMI first if you need to hook it up to just like a regular monitor. If you have one that takes VGA, even better. But yeah, so these first couple steps, it's going to be sending a way higher signal. So if your CRT cannot handle it, do not use it yet. I will let you know when you could finally turn on your CRT. So heads up there. So yeah, next step is what we need to do is we need to be able to start up our PC with that M.2 hard drive that has Batocera on it. So we need it to boot into that drive. So every time you turn the PC on, it's just gonna go, boom, I'm gonna boot this drive and it has Batocera already on it. So then I'm gonna load Batocera. So again, this is a Dell. So how you do that will be through the BIOS of your PC. So the Dell, to get into the BIOS, you turn the PC on and you hit F2 as many times, like until you see the menu. Look up, if you have a different PC, how to get into BIOS. And then the next kind of settings that are gonna be explained are kind of, I think every BIOS looks a little different, so, but it's gonna be like kind of like the same concept. So try to figure out if you don't have that exact setting, maybe look it up and see like, how do you do that same thing on a Dell with your PC or whatever. So, and we'll talk about that in a sec. So as far as what those settings are. So, and then, yeah, I have two other screens here. So I'm gonna open these up here. The first one is, this is going to be what is coming out of the PC video-wise. And then down here at the bottom is actually the OSSC letting us know what frequencies are actually there at the moment. So, and this is the thing that I really want to emphasize is you want to see 15 kilohertz. This can only handle 15 kilohertz. If you see anything higher than that, it is going to literally blow your chassis. So we don't want that to happen. No errors, like no, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, the reason why I want to keep this here is just so that you could also see those frequencies and when you turn the PC on and that kind of stuff. So, so that said, let's go into the BIOS right now. So I'm gonna turn the PC on. I'm gonna hit F2 a few times, and then you're gonna start seeing that OSSC. See those signals right there? 48. You do not want that. And I am in the BIOS now, and I'm stuck at 48. So it is not 15 kilohertz. So do not use your CRT. Okay, so let's make this a little bit bigger here so that we can see what we need to do here. So I'm using a keyboard, I'm not using a mouse, so I'm just gonna navigate using a keyboard. So you use your up and down button to navigate through the left side. And then to get into the right side, you have to hit the tab button. So first thing we're gonna need to do is go into boot sequence. So we hit the tab button, and now we can go into the boot sequence area. So in here, what we need to do is we need to tell the PC what drive needs to boot first. So I have the M.2, I know it's the Samsung one, so it's gonna be this drive right here. So I have that checked off. And then you're also gonna need to make sure that you have legacy checked. And then so the way to pick things is by hitting the enter, the return key or the enter key. So if I click this, we don't want that, but let me go back to legacy again. So I'll hit enter here, and then we're back again. And then to get to the bottom part, you hit tab one more time. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick apply, hit enter, and then we're gonna hit tab a couple times here so that save as custom user settings is highlighted. And then we're gonna hit enter there. We're gonna hit tab one more time and hit okay. So we've got the boot sequence already saved now. So now the next thing that we're gonna need to do is we're going to need to set up your advanced boot options. This needs to be set up on enable legacy option ROMs. So we'll go hit tab, we'll enter in there. I'm just gonna click this just in case, but you don't want that one clicked off. So again, I'm gonna hit tab again to go into this apply exit area. So now we're gonna apply, hit tab a few times to highlight this, press enter one more time, and we're good to go here. So now the next thing is UEFI boot path security. You're gonna want that set as never. And then there's one more thing I want you to set up, and that is going to be under power management. So power management, if we go into here and we go into AC recovery, set this to power on. And what this is gonna do is this is gonna make it so that whenever your PC detects any power, it's automatically going to turn on. So this way you're able to put your PC inside of your arcade cabinet, and then you could turn it on from a switch outside. And then you won't have to like every time open up your arcade cabinet just to turn on the PC. So, so we're gonna do that. And that's already saved on my end. So I have it on power on, and I think that is it. So I'm gonna hit tab, and then I'm gonna go to exit. And I'm actually gonna turn on this real quick here. So what's gonna happen is when I exit, we're gonna reboot, and we're gonna boot into that drive now. And I want you to see how long it takes for 15 kilohertz signal to show up. So here we go. So we hit enter. It's rebooting the PC. Here we go. No signal. All right, so we're at 48. We're still too high. 31. Yeah, I mean, you could see how long this takes. So this is like a good 30 seconds. There we go. Now we see 15. Now we're in Batocera. We've got 15 kilohertz running. We've gone through the BIOS steps. So now we're booting just straight up into Batocera. So now that we have the 15 kilohertz here, I should be able to do this now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on my arcade cabinet. And we've got sound, and it's too loud. But yeah, so now this should be working now, and you should see this here. We're all good. So yeah, I think the next steps we'll go over just how to set up this Batocera setup for with the Myzar steps. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so now we're ready to do our Batocera updates with the Myzar settings. Just a forewarning, some of the Myzar settings, what it's going to do is it's going to make your PC reboot. Whenever your PC reboots, it's going to send that 48 kilohertz signal again until Batocera loads. So once Batocera is there, then you're going to get that 15 kilohertz signal. So we are going to have to turn off and on the CRT, the arcade cabinet, a couple times here. The other thing too is if you have a JAMMA to PC converter that has protection mode, then you don't have to worry about that. So I'm using the Antonio Valino one. That does not have protection mode. So what that's gonna do is it's always gonna send whatever signal's being passed through. The JAMMA ASD and the JPAC, it has a feature where if the signal is not 15 kilohertz, it will actually gate it from being passed to your CRT. So we're gonna do this together as if we don't have protection mode at all, because I actually don't. So yeah, just to showcase how that works, right? So let me turn off the PC here, or turn off the arcade cabinet, and then turn off the PC. So what we're gonna do is, and I'll show you how to do this in a sec, but I'm gonna turn off Batocera, and I'm just gonna show you immediately what happens. So if I go to shutdown system and say yes, I'm gonna press yes right now, and you're gonna see that we spike right away. Whenever you turn off your PC from Batocera, it's already gonna spike. So you need to make sure you turn off your CRT before you turn off Batocera. And I'll show you a little trick on how to do that. So, but yeah, anyway. So now I'm gonna turn it on, and then we're gonna see how long it takes to go back into 15 kilohertz again. So it's gonna be the same thing when we came out of BIOS and it reset. So it took about a good like 30 to 45 seconds. So I usually wait that long before I turn on my CRT. Another thing too is with the Dell, whenever it boots up, it actually like has the fan on like 100%. And then the moment Batocera loads, the fan actually kind of decreases and it maybe goes to like 50% speed. So that's another good indicator. I don't, depending on what type of cooling fan or how your PC works, you may be able to can tell it that way. So yeah, so we're back at 15 kilohertz now. Let me turn on the room, because what I'm gonna do is I wanna also have the monitor, CRT monitor turned on and off, just to let you know when you should have it on and when you should have it off as well too, and we'll do these steps together. So CRT monitor's back on. So let's, I'll turn the room back off so that we can see everything here. So first thing we need to do is we need to be able to interact with the Myzar scripts. And in order to do that is we need a Wi-Fi connection. So I'm using a keyboard. So again, let's hit the space bar and use the arrow keys to go down to network settings. You're gonna hit return or enter on your keyboard. And we have a couple things here. So I'm already connected via Ethernet. So as you can see, it says connected here. If I didn't have Ethernet, it would say disconnected. So I'm good to go. Now for all of those that need Wi-Fi and want to do Wi-Fi instead, what you're gonna do is you're gonna scroll down to here, you're gonna press enter on this toggle, and then it's gonna ask you for your password and your Ethernet or your network name. So once you figure that out, once you're good there, you should be able to hit the back button. So scroll down to back and then hit return. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back into network settings one more time, and it should show you as connected here. So it doesn't connect right away. When you're trying to do Wi-Fi, you need to exit out and then you'll come back and then you'll see that you are connected. So hopefully that helps. So we are back here. Also, I'm gonna leave the documentation for Batocera just in general in the description. So if you need any help with any of this other stuff, feel free to look at that. And that's only Batocera specific. Anything Myzar is going to be, no documentation exists. So, okay, so we're gonna go back to, we're back. So if you look at the very top right corner, we can see that we are connected to Wi-Fi. We've got that little Wi-Fi icon there, so we're good to go. So now the next thing that we need to do is we're gonna start running these Myzar scripts now that we have internet access. So we're gonna go back and I'm hitting the left arrows. So left and right, that's how you navigate through this menu. So we're gonna go to ports. Inside of ports, we're gonna hit enter. And then inside of here, we're gonna keep scrolling down until we see download. So download is, this is all where all the magic happens. This is kind of like your update all scripts and stuff like that if you own a Mister and like that kind of stuff. So that's all the stuff is gonna be, all the settings from here on forward are gonna be through here. So let's press enter. And what we're gonna do is now that we have network access, now we're gonna be able to be on a Myzar server. So in order to navigate through this, you have to use WASD. So W is gonna be up, S is gonna be down, and then enter is gonna be how you drill into each one of these directories or whatever. So as you can see as well, we're running version 39 of Batocera at the very, very, very top. So this is Myzar version 39, basically. Also the date next to it. There are version 39 older versions with no fixes or with bugs and stuff. So this is the latest and greatest right now. So yeah, let's go to download BIOS, themes, backup, fixes, and updates. So this is where a lot of the setting stuff is going to be. So if we hit enter here, first thing that we're gonna need to do is let's choose our monitor preset. So this is going to be where it's gonna set all of the pixels correctly for your particular CRT. This also runs switch res in the background. So this is also gonna make it so that you're able to get those like really clean like pixel lines and that kind of stuff on some, like especially if you're running like MAME and stuff like that. So yeah, so let's click enter here. If you don't know your arcade monitor, the default is going to be one of these arcade ones here. So 15 kilohertz. I, however, have a MS929 Nano on my new Astro City. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose this. Now, before I push enter, what I need to do is and I'm gonna show this here. I'm gonna have both of these here. I'm gonna need to turn off the CRT. So it doesn't give you the warning in the menu here, but I'm gonna turn off the CRT. It doesn't say anything about it. It's gonna reset, but it's gonna reset. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press return, and it's going to start proceeding, and it's gonna restart the system right away. So we're gonna see 48 now. There you go. You could have damaged a little your CRT. So we're being very, very cautious here and being extra good. So we're doing this together. Even though we could see it through the capture card, I'm imagining that we're doing this through the CRT television, and that's the only monitor that you have right now. So So it's loading. You know, again, give it like 45 seconds just to be a little bit cautious about it. And now we should be set up for the CRT. You're not going to really see a difference, but you would if you were running a game. So now we've got that set up. There is another way to set up geometry on your monitor. It looks really good on mine right now, so I don't have to set anything, but there is another setting, and I'm not going to go through it here, but there's one called CRT, and this makes it so that you're able to, and I'll just push back, you're able to calibrate your pixel and where Batocera is on the screen. But we're not going to go into that today. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go back to download. And then what we need to do is go back into we're going to hit the S button, go down to fixes and updates again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the theme. And we're going to, because we have the stock Batocera theme, what we want to do is we want to go into a different theme that's more Myzar. So just to make it a little bit easier to navigate through the emulation station UI. So let's pick the Arcade Planet mod one, and it's going to download it. So we'll give this a sec. Cool. So now let's scroll down and using S, and let's go back to main menu and then go to exit. And we're back to emulation station now. So now if you hit the space bar, and now we can go into user interface settings, so your UI, and we're going to change the theme. So now the theme is going to be this Arcade Planet mod. And then we're going to scroll down to the back button here, and then we should have a different UI now. That looks a lot better. So now there's a lot of these things that are a little bit more readable. We could see that now this says auto mount disk ROMs. We could see that this one says automatic file backup. So it just makes it a little bit cleaner and it's a little bit easier to navigate. So yeah, so now let's go back into auto download again. And then the next thing that we're gonna need to is we need to, let's scroll back down to this here. I think what we need to do is we need to install BIOS. Okay, actually, before we do this, let me exit out real quick here. And I just want to show you something. So let's exit out. I'm gonna hit the escape button to go back one. So now we're in the main emulation station menu. And then I'm going to pick a PC Engine game. So I'm gonna hit return. And I'm going to hit return and I'm going to try to play this game. And this game is not going to let us play because it says it's missing the BIOS. So what we need to do is we need to get the BIOS for all of these cores so that we could play these games. So I'm going to go to no, I'm going to hit return. I'm going to hit the back button again to escape out of here. Go back to the main emulation station menu. We're going to go to ports again. We're going to go to download. And then we're going to go to download BIOS. Then we're going to go to BIOS. And what we're going to do is press enter here. Well, there you go. It didn't even need a reboot. So I think that we should be good. So I should be able to go into, let's turn the CRT back on, just to act like we're doing this with the CRT on. So we should be able to go down to exit now. So back to main menu again, and then we're gonna go to exit. Okay, so now I should be able to hit the escape button again, go back. Let's go to that PC Engine game one more time. And let me turn off these two. And I should be able to hit enter, and now we should be running a game. So there you have it. We have our first PC Engine game running on a CRT cabinet. I'm switching to this mode right here. You can see it's right here. It's happening. There's the game. So yeah, so so everything that we set up so far is we've gotten the BIOS, we've set up our monitor, we've set up our Wi-Fi access, we're familiarizing ourselves with the auto download script from Myzar. There's a lot more other things that you could get from there as well too for setting things up. And then I think maybe after this, I'm going to show you how to adjust your controllers, because we don't have these things set up yet. So let me get that set up real quick here, and we'll be right back. All right, so now we're ready to set up controls. So we have the PC Engine still running right now behind me. And so in order to escape a game or to exit, you have to hit the escape button on the keyboard here. So let's do that. And let's go back to the main menu here. And here we go. So let's set up the controllers real quick here. So let me open up this screen here. What we're gonna do is, and I'll open this up as well so you could see me as well working this thing live. So we're gonna hit spacebar again to go into the main menu. And then we're gonna go to controller and Bluetooth settings. And then we're gonna go to controller mapping, which is gonna be the very first one. So we go into here. It's gonna give you a little prompt. It's gonna let you know, like, this is how you assign buttons. You need to assign a hotkey. If you need to skip, hold the down button and that stuff. And we'll go through that while we set this up. So again, let's hit OK here. And then it says that there's 2 gamepads detected, which means that there are left and right. Those are your player 1 and player 2 are detected right now. And that is coming directly from the USB out of here, of this PC, to the JAMMA to PC converter. And then it's sending the control signals into the JAMMA edge for all of your controls. So really, really cool. So now if I barely tap left player 1, we've got 1 button. We got player 1 detected. If I barely, I'm just barely hitting this player 2. So we're seeing that it's registering and sending some sort of signal. So let's assign player 1. So let's hold this down and boom. So now let's go into this setting, and I'm gonna turn this off real quick here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna assign our buttons. So we're gonna go, turn this back on. So, and all you have to do is just press the button. So we'll do this one, this one, this one, this one. Start is going to be player 1. So this is player 1 here. And then select is going to be your coin mech. So I'm gonna hit the coin mech here. Boom, so now we've got the coin mech going, and then D-pad, you're always gonna use D-pad and not analog. So D-pad is gonna be your up, down, left, right on your joystick. So up, down, left, right. And then left shoulder and right shoulder is going to be high kick and high punch and high kick. So button 3 and button 6, I guess. So left one is going to be the high punch, and then the right shoulder is going to be low kick or high kick. So, and then the rest of these we could skip. So to skip, you just hold down on the down lever, and then you're just gonna keep skipping until we get to hotkeys, and then I'll show you where we assign this to. And what the hotkey does is this makes it so that you can use this, hold this down and use it as a combination with something else to like go into like a menu or to exit games and like that kind of stuff. So we're gonna assign this to the coin mech, and then we're gonna hit OK by hitting this button. So now I should be able to navigate through Batocera now using the joystick and using the buttons. So let's assign player 2. So we'll go to controller mapping again. We'll hit OK. It's gonna wanna detect another one. So let's hold down the second player button and then do the same thing. So we're gonna go boom, 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 boom. We're gonna hit start. We're not gonna assign select because there is no other coin mech for this. So we're gonna skip this one. So we're gonna hold down, and then we're gonna do D-pad up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. Left shoulder is gonna be high punch. Right shoulder is gonna be high kick. And then we're just gonna skip all of it, even the hotkey. We're only going to assign the hotkey with player 1, and that's it. Player 1 is the only one in charge of doing any sort of settings and exiting games and like that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go all the way down to OK. It's gonna say, are you sure you don't want a hotkey? And you're gonna be like, yeah, do not assign a hotkey. Boom, so now we're back. So now I could hit, we could go back. Now we could go back and play whatever. So I should be able to go into this game now. Let it load, PC, all right, PC Engine. What if I hit start? What do I, gotta push start again? Good luck. All right, press run. So now we're working. Look at that. I'm hitting buttons. I don't even know how to play this game. Am I trying to hit a pill here or something? What's going on? Oh man, this is the worst. Okay, so anyways, this is how we get this working. So we're not quite done yet. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to figure out how to get all of our ROMs on that second hard drive. So, and what I'm gonna do is, there's already some games already pre-installed the moment you install Batocera. So I'm just gonna get you to that part, and then you could just figure out how to get the rest of them in. Let's exit again. So I'm gonna hit the escape key on the keyboard here. And then this step is actually we do need to reset the monitor again one more time. So we will need to shut off the monitor at a point. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to, I am using the keyboard here, but I could be just using this, but we're gonna go to ports, and let me hide the room again. We're gonna go to ports and then auto mount ROMs. Okay, so we're gonna go to this one. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna take all your pre-existing ROMs and it's gonna put it in that other drive that you have, that second drive, that other hard drive that we haven't talked about in a while. So let me go into here. I'm gonna press enter here. Okay, so we're gonna let this load here. And then it's gonna give us a little prompt here. So let's let this, okay, here we go. So what it's gonna say, it's gonna say press enter to mount or escape to unmount it. We want to press enter for this one. So I'm gonna give you the forewarning right now. I already know what's gonna happen right after this, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna immediately reset your PC. So I'm gonna turn this back on again. Let's turn off the CRT monitor, okay? And then just, if we have the monitor off, just imagine the monitor is off right now. I'm just going to press enter, and this is what's gonna be happening in the background while your monitor's off. So your PC's still gonna be running. It's gonna automatically just do the reset for you. So here we go. So now we're resetting again, and then we will see what happens after this. So, all right. So if things all worked out correct, I should be able to turn on my monitor. So CRT's back on again so that I could see what I'm doing. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to go into the port section again here. We're gonna go to auto download, and then something's gonna change. Something's gonna look a little bit different if everything worked out. Okay, so now you're noticing that the available disk space is different. And this is coming from the other drive now, because this is my M.2 that's running Batocera was only a 256 gigabyte capacity. So now look, we're already at 447, which is the other card, the other hard drive that I have set up. So yeah, I think we're at a good space, a good place for you to just choose your own adventure after this, to figure out what you actually want to get installed and stuff like that. But again, I'm gonna leave all of the links in the description. Watch that first video, make sure you got that working. But yeah, you should be good to go. You should be able to just get a game going and get your setup going. And I'm also going to leave there's a Telegram group where Myzar and all, a bunch of contributors and people are it's like kind of like a Discord basically, but it's not Discord. I'm in that channel as well too, but it's a great resource if you need help with anything else. And yeah, feel free to ask questions. I'm not going to be able to answer everything because it's not my program. So you're better off going into that Telegram group and asking around if you need some more advanced questions. But yeah, other than that, I wish you luck. Hopefully this was really, really easy for you to figure out. And yeah, just feel free to leave a comment or whatever. So thanks again. Hopefully everything will be great. Don't blow up your CRT. Thank you.